Hi, this is Jonathan. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a story. And this is going to be a story of my early years and how I became an ABDL. The idea to do this video was actually one from uh, one of the followers on my channel. They reached out and asked a little bit about how I became ABDL, and so I told them I would go ahead and do a video, and so that's where this come from. So we'll go back to about age 8. I don't really remember anything earlier than that. And at age 8, I had a nephew that was born into my family, and his parents actually worked, and so at the time, my mother actually tended him while he was a baby. And during that time, I developed an interest with the diapers that were around the house for him. I remember that they were actually kept in a cupboard in the bathroom, and I had an interest in those. They were, I do remember, the Huggies diapers, and actually back in that time, they were the plastic-backed diapers. So when no one was looking, I would take one of them and I would wear it under my clothes. And it was when nobody was home typically, and I was just there alone. During that same time, my best friend, his sister actually was younger, and she wet the bed and wore diapers to bed. And so at sleepovers, when we would stay at his house, the two of us would actually experiment with diapers a little bit and wear those to bed during those sleepovers. And, that probably went on from about age 8 to age 12 or 13. And we know what happens at age 12 or 13. It's puberty time, and we start to develop some of those attractions and feelings to things during that time. And we'll talk more about that here in a little while. We actually even had built a secret compartment in a playhouse, and we would hide the diapers inside of there, and we could get those out and wear them during sleepovers in the summertime when we would sleep out there. For a good number of years, diapers were readily available until my nephew actually grew out of those and became potty trained. So, 4 years or so. And I do remember keeping a couple of those hidden away in a area underneath the chest of drawers. There's a space under there, and it's funny because I had seen somebody else post that on social media, or I've seen it somewhere, and it's funny because I thought, oh, well, I used that same way to hide those diapers under there. I also remember my cousins who lived nearby in the neighborhood and being interested in all the diapers around their house. But they actually used, I remember, cloth diapers and plastic pants. And so that was something different from the disposable diapers that I had seen my nephew wearing that they were using in their home. And today I have a strong love the smell of diaper rash cream, particularly Desitin. And I think that attachment to that it could have come from me, having that been used on me as a baby, or it could have come from, my excitement around diapers and just remember smelling that scent. At one point at one of the sleepovers with my friend, I started to get excited down below in the diaper area when wearing diapers, and it kind of continued from that point forward. So it was around that puberty age. Late junior high and high school, I no longer had ready access to diapers, and I was too scared to go to the store and buy them and or order them online. And actually, at the time, it wasn't really easy to try and order them, have them shipped to the house, and intercept those. And I'm sure some of you understand that same thing. I remember, as I mentioned, I had taken some of the diapers earlier, and I actually decided to try and tape them together. So you would cut them up and try and make them into an adult-sized diaper. So you would take like one down the center, and then take another one and cut off the sides and add it on, the sides of the back, and then add it on the front. And it was a makeshift diaper at best. You couldn't use it; it would have leaked like crazy. Um, but it was fun to be able to wear that. I also remember an interesting fact, and in high school, they actually passed out pacifiers, little pacifiers, not this big, but something similar, at a high school assembly. And they gave those to us as, high schoolers as a reminder to not have unprotected sex, a reminder that if you did, you might have the responsibility of a baby that comes along. And I was mesmerized by the pacifier and actually used it a few times at night. Unfortunately, I don't have it today anymore because I did purge it. And we'll talk a little bit more about the binging and purging process here in a minute too. I then finished up high school and started college and continued to have an interest in diapers. The internet was becoming available, and I discovered that I wasn't in the world alone, um, and found this new term that was new to me, infantilism. And it was nice to see that I wasn't the only one that had this drive, because prior to that, I felt like I was broken. And yeah, it was just invigorating to be able to see other people out there that had the same desires. The thing about wearing diapers is it gives me a feeling of safety and a feeling of relaxation, and I think some of you can kind of relate to that as well. So since that experience during puberty, when I would go between the time of not being able to get diapers or wear them, then I would get excited when putting on that diaper, and that was really the extent of it. I knew nothing more, and was really probably a very sheltered child, um, growing up even into the high school years. Then one day when I was putting on a diaper, accidentally my first orgasm occurred. And until that point, I had not experienced an orgasm or didn't even know what that was. And so that experience really continued to solidify my connection with diapers. And, even up to that point, I had experienced wet dreams as a boy growing up. But when the release would occur, I always remembered waking up the next morning and remember dreaming about needing to go to the bathroom or something associated with that, but never wet the bed. It was always just a wet dream. Um, so then after college, I ended up meeting my wife at the time, and we actually got married. And during the time we were dating, my attraction to the diapers or needing to wear them actually decreased quite dramatically, just because of keeping busy with other adult responsibilities, dating, work, and all those kinds of things. Um, so, because of that, and it kind of waned, I didn't share that with her either in the dating process or prior to getting married or even into the beginning of our marriage. And then after we were married for a year or so, I ended up becoming unemployed and was spending time at home searching for a job, and started to explore diapers again at that time. And I would think it may have been the stress from not having a job and just working through that. And so I was leaning more towards, I think, back to the safety and the feeling of relaxation I get from diapers. And during this, I guess, relapse or moving back into diapers from the DL side. So up to this point, it's been more like DL, right? Diaper Lover. Now I started to explore the AB side. And so now the ABDL kind of combines and becomes into one. and I was able to acquire some pacifiers bottles, um, a cloth diaper, and some of those kinds of things, and a onesie, actually a onesie at the time. I ended up finding a new job, and it ended up being one where I worked from home some of the time, and I traveled some of the time. And so I was able to wear diapers at home during the day, and I was able to wear them on my business trips, traveling to the location, overnight in the hotel, and then back home from the destination. And during that time, I was doing what we consider the binge and purge cycle. Some of you may have heard of that, where we have that great desire, that need, it's got to be fulfilled. So we'll go out and buy some diapers, we'll wear them, and then we'll feel bad about it. Like, oh, I'm ashamed. I shouldn't be doing this. It's wrong. It's not normal. And then we would throw everything away. And then a week or two would pass, and then we start all over again. And looking back on that, it is what it is. I am sad because some of the things that I had early on in exploring ABDL, they're gone. No way to get them back, including like that pacifier that was given to me in high school. It would be kind of cool to still have that today. So all this was going on as a secret from my family and my wife at the time, because I was just ashamed of it. It was like I should be able to not do this. It's not, I mean, there's other people out there on the internet doing it, but I shouldn't have to be doing it. And so, I was buying it. It would go a few weeks as long as I could. And then it's like, oh, I got to have this. I got to do this. And then I would be back into it again. Um, and the first view that my wife would have into this at the time was I got a urinary tract infection that then moved up and became a kidney infection. And it got so bad during the time that I was not able to control the ability to pee sometimes. It was just so terrible until I was able to get on some medication and get it cleared up. And so when that happened, I thought, well, I can try wearing diapers. And I thought, well, this kind of works. Well, right, play that with that, and it'll all work out. Um, and I wore them for probably about a week, um, and really enjoyed being able to do that. But then eventually the infection went away, things went back to normal, and we continued on with life. But the binge and purge cycle continued, and so I had gotten some more at one point and started hiding them, and was hiding them all along, but was hiding them. And she was actually doing some cleaning and found some that I had stored downstairs. And at that point, she also found like a onesie and some other things. And so it was kind of piecing it together, and she got concerned. Of course, anyone probably gets concerned, and that's not aware of the ABDL lifestyle. And so she confronted me about it. And, I said, I wanted to be, I was like still ashamed. I'm like, I can get over this. I don't need to do this. And, I tried again for another number of weeks, and it just wasn't working. And so at that point, she recommended that I see a therapist. And I was brought up thinking that, if you have to see a therapist, that's not good, and that's something to be ashamed of as well. And I have a much different opinion of that today, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But um, it was her idea that she married a man, and she did, um, not a child, and so that was really hard for her. And she thought that being able to go to a therapist would be able to help me stop um, the diapers and all that kind of stuff. And so I just was completely against that because been brought up that way. I'm like, no, I can stop. It's fine. I don't need to see a therapist. But it went on for a while, and of course, as we've talked about, I was drawn back to it. So at this point, I gave up on the binge and purge. I started to realize, chatting with other ABDLs online, it's not getting me anywhere, and so I continued to explore my ABDL side, just chatting with online friends and enjoying kind of regressing when I could to that 4-year-old state, wearing diapers, using a pacifier, watching cartoons, drawing, playing with toys, um, and wearing toddler clothing. Just really made me feel relaxed and like I could be myself. So one of those friends, I met an ABDL from New York, and we were chatting, and I was talking about the binge and purge cycle and how destructive that is. And he told me that he went to see a therapist. And I think that's what really turned me around in the idea of, what, I probably could see a therapist too. So on one of my trips, business trips home, I was on the airplane. It was a long flight from Florida or somewhere. And on my phone, I typed up um, this history, and it's the history I'm sharing with you today, so that I would be able to share that with the therapist and let them know where I came from and where I am and what do I need to do about it. And it was really a great turning point in my life, as now I'm able to accept myself for who I am. And the therapist helped me do that. In finding the therapist, I was really nervous to do so. And I did a lot of internet research and found out that you can actually search for and find um, kink aware therapists. And I was able to find one here locally. And that's who I went to talk to and spent many weeks going through those therapy sessions. Um, so I shared with my wife I was going to do that, and she was excited about that. And actually, towards the end of those visits, the therapist invited her there as well, and we were able to talk through it. And the therapist wasn't there to stop me from, completely cure me of it, so to speak, but was there to help me accept myself and accept it, and be able to have balance, and a balance of a regular adult life and a balance of an ABDL life that I could use for that feeling of relaxation and safety when I needed it to help cope with stress and those kinds of things in life. And so that was really reassuring. And after that, I was able to, she was able to better understand where I was coming from and what it was, and not that it was something that could be cured. And things got better for us for a number of months, probably for about a year, year and a half. And then she ended up deciding that we should get divorced. It kind of went back to that idea that she was looking for that manly figure, and me being able to regress as a younger kid. Still, she wasn't able to kind of get around that or grasp that idea, and that wasn't what she was looking for in a relationship. So we ended up getting divorced, and I was single for about a year and just continued to um, be positive about my ABDL lifestyle. I actually got more involved in the local community, and they have local munches and those kinds of things. And so it really kept me busy, and I was really enjoying continuing to explore that. And probably about 2 years after being divorced and being single again, um, for a period of time, I was able to have a friend who was ABDL, and he moved in, and we lived together in my house for a while. And it was nice to be able to not have to hide my ABDL side with someone else who also shares those same ABDL feelings and those kinds of things. Um, After that, for about a year and a half, I was on Diaper Boys and met Casey, and that was in about 2016. And since that time, we've gotten together as a couple, and he's ABDL, of course, as well, having been on Diaper Boys, and that's where we met. And yeah, so the rest is kind of history now, because from that point forward, if you've been following a lot of the videos and the posts we do, um, you'll see kind of our current lifestyle and where we are today in the ABDL future, where we're making our future and where we'll be going with our future. So hopefully that helps answer that question. For that subscriber that asked me to go into details about my what I call my early diaper history. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.